Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. I'm Sally Burdett, live from Johannesburg. Your top stories this evening.
I've never met anyone as arrogantly disposed as you are. And you want to defend freedom of speech you never fought for.
The party's Deputy Secretary General hits out at an eNCA reporter for asking so-called attacking questions about controversial names on the candidate list, and then demands cameras are switched off. Businessman Iqbal's survey has his say at the PIC inquiry, with some pushback from the Commission. And April is going to be a tough month. A fuel hike kicks in at midnight, and the price of electricity is up as well. Let's start here. Just over a month before we vote, and it seems the pressure is building. This afternoon, the ANC's National Executive Committee held a media briefing on its candidate list for national and provincial voting. Now, included in the list are a number of party members accused of state capture or corruption. The ANC has received a great deal of criticism over its decision not to drop names such as Nomvula Mokonyane, Malusi Gigaba, Batabiya Dlamini and others. Even the elders within the ANC last week called for those under a cloud to be removed from the list. Well, this afternoon, Deputy Secretary General Jessie Duarte spoke to the media.
We are asking our Integrity Commission to look at everybody whose names have been mentioned, but not just everybody whose names have been mentioned in commissions of inquiry, to look at everybody. What we are confident about is that our list is compliant in terms of the Constitution and the Electoral Act. All people who have been sentenced, and the sentence did not include a fine or 12 months and a fine, were removed from the list, all of them. So therefore, everybody who's on the list now has not gone through the criminal justice system and has been taken through any court of law.
So the list is to be reviewed by the Integrity Commission, but Jessie Duarte also says it is not likely to change. Well, at this point, our reporter Samkele Maseko asked why the ANC hadn't sent the list to the Integrity Commission before now. A back and forth exchange between Maseko and Duarte ensued.
I am going to complain about you to the Ombudsman because this is what you do. Hang on, don't interrupt me. This is what you do. The last time you came here, there was a press meeting here. We were all very polite to each other. You asked one question, and then you battered the ANC on a completely irrelevant issue, and you insisted. And I will repeat what I said to you before we started this press conference. I said that I want to say to eNCA, and I'm saying it to you now, without fear, because I too have the right of freedom of speech, not only you. I said to you that if you have any attack question on the ANC that is not in our press release, you will address them to our spokesperson. All right. Now, Mr. Samkele, you have a habit of intimidating everybody. You have a habit of making people feel that you are the lord of the media. You are one journalist. You work for one eNCA. And you think that all of us must shiver and shake. You call me a bully, but you are the worst bully I've ever come across. I've never met anyone as arrogantly disposed as you are. And you want to defend freedom of speech you never fought for. And you don't defend freedom of speech because your particular TV station has decided the direction it will go on, as it did in 2016.
Well, Duarte goes on to say that eNCA's reports on this incident are one-sided and biased. She's accusing Maseko of an unacceptable and unprofessional outburst. She's requested a meeting with the editorial team of eNCA and also the South African National Editors Forum. eNCA Editor-in-Chief Jeremy Magg says the broadcaster stands fully behind Maseko. He's rejected any assertion that the station has an agenda against either Jessie Duarte or the ANC, or that the reporter in question was bullying her in any way, as she has suggested. The South African National Editors Forum says it is, quote, quite stunned by Duarte's comments. Businessman Iqbal Survey took the stand today at the Commission of Inquiry into the Public Investment Corporation. The newspaper mogul has also taken a swipe at the media, blaming eNCA and THIS Black Star for scuppering his plans to list on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Survey got a chance to tell his side of the story after a number of companies he's involved in were scrutinised at the inquiry. But as Jessie Duarte reports, he got a fair bit of pushback from the Commission.
The relationship between Dan Machila, former CEO of the PIC, and Iqbal Survey had nothing to do with the PIC investing in AO Technology Solutions. At least that's what Survey told the inquiry after he was probed on his relationship with Machila. Previous testimony revealed how AO Technology only got the 4.3 billion rand funding because of the pair's relationship. But Survey says he doesn't have what he calls the white networks like others and counted on Machila in a professional manner.
I respect him a lot, and it's that professional relationship. You know, people like ourselves, Advocate Lebo, with respect, we don't have the networks that again I say this with caution, white business people have.
Survey claims that his company, Sagamata, didn't end up listing on the JSE not because of capital issues, but because of bad media coverage.
You had our competitors, THIS Black Star Publications, Business Day, as they continue to do, eNCA and others, as they continue to do, blatantly put negative propaganda in the public space, force the JSE to look for a reason to scupper this listing.
Then this happened.
This isn't about a platform for your personal views around white, black in South Africa. This is a non-racial country as far as I'm aware, and can we have some respect?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Commissioner. I'm in total agreement with you that...
I don't want to reply, please.
Deputy Reserve Bank Governor Kuben Naidu has also taken the stand to set the record straight about the involvement of the PIC's executives in the demise of VBS Mutual Bank. Naidu says, in fact, non-executive board member of VBS and head of risk at the PIC, Paul Magula, did get paid over 7 million rand to buy his silence. This contradicts Magula's earlier testimony. Survey will take the stand again when the inquiry resumes on Wednesday. Jessie Duarte in Pretoria.
Another hefty fuel price hike kicks in at midnight tonight, but the tough times ahead for all of us are not limited to paying more at the pumps. Our VUM Taylor breaks down the numbers for us.
Brace yourself for a double whammy this month. It's not only fuel that will be increasing, but the price of electricity as well. It seems unlucky number 13 has been overtaken by number 9 this month. Both fuel and electricity are set to cost you 9% more than they do now. Rand Swiss analyst Viv Govender estimates that 1,000 rand worth of fuel will now cost you an extra 100 rand, while 1,000 rand of electricity will set you back an additional 140 rand.
And so if you look at the electricity price increases between now and say 2020, you'd be looking for 1,000 rand, monthly consumption at the moment. You'd be looking at about 1,220 bucks. Come 2020, which is a substantial amount.
Ordinary South Africans say their pockets are already stretched.
So once petrol goes up, it means all other things go up as well. Food prices and other things go up, so it's quite hefty here.
At work, we don't get more money. I'm just a cleaner, so I think we're going to starve.
Experts warn of a jobs bloodbath.
The Chamber of Mines, I think, has come out and said 90,000 jobs in the mining sector next couple of years will be lost if the current increases for electricity go through, just electricity.
And the impact will be felt most by the poor. Aviwem Mtila, Johannesburg.
It seems communities have had enough of apparent police inaction. Police Minister Bheki Cele and National Commissioner Kehla Sitole were chased out of the community of Blaybank in Carltonville today. They were set to launch a new unit to combat rising crime in the area. At least 9 people have been killed and 60 houses torched during recent violence between rival mining unions NUM and AMCU. Govan Whittles has the details.
A final warning to those behind the violence in the Blaybank community. Respect the law or else.
Those that have a problem with whatever, let's talk. We're opening the door. We have spoken with your leadership almost 5 meetings. It's the 6th time we're coming here today. But it won't be forever so. The time will come where the state will have to put its authority. And we are beginning to do so.
The first target, he says, will be the arsonists.
She said, izindlu sizala ngoba besikhombisa ukuthi bawobani sizobonana ukuthi sobani.
Police say the show of force is meant to restore calm. But across the street, dozens of AMCU members and Blaybank residents become agitated. Then the crowd turns on Bheki Cele. Cele says the police will stay here until the tensions between the NUM and AMCU subside and workers can return to their homes. Govan Whittles, Carltonville.
Still ahead on eNews, cholera cases in Mozambique's cyclone-hit regions are spiking. We'll give you the latest details.
And in your business news, the rand got a bit of a boost today after Moody's said South Africa's credit rating is still investment grade.
Your business news now with Rufiwa Madzena. And Rufiwa, I'm relying on you for some good news tonight. So Moody's, some good news there.
Some good news from Moody's. So this is after they did not release their ratings review on Friday. They've come out with an opinion with the outlook for South Africa's economy. They have cited that we've got really strong institutions. Our banking systems are great. The South African Reserve Bank is great, as well as our judiciary. But they did cite some negatives. They have said that the economy will not grow as much as it's supposed to because of major structural reforms that haven't taken place. So major social and political divisions that still exist that are really bottlenecks to that economic growth that we're supposed to be seeing. So they were pessimistic about the growth outlook, saying that the economy will only grow at about 1.3% this year, whereas the Reserve Bank was seeing 1.9% and Treasury seeing 1.7%. So they will be releasing a ratings in November, and we anticipate that the reason that they're doing this is they really want to see the change in government after the elections and whether that policy uncertainty will be cleared out, Sally.
Absolutely. How are the markets today? Better news for the rand?
Well, it was a mixed day for the markets today. So the JSE did close flat as gains by some of the miners were stifled by those sharp losses we saw in the general retailers and banks. So food and drug retailers fell about 1.7%, while the banks fell around 1%. On the commodities front, gold prices slipped to a more than a 3-week low today as waning global economic slowdown concerns lifted the dollar as well as those global equity markets. Meanwhile, oil did hit a 2019 high above that $69 a barrel earlier today. If we look at the local unit now, the rand was firm against major global currencies earlier this afternoon, but did post some losses as volatility in that Turkish lira is threatening the strength of the rand, Sally.
Thank you very much, Rufiwe. Let's take a look at international news now. And there's been an alarming increase in the number of cholera cases in Mozambique after the cyclone. 4 days ago, around 140 people were infected. Now that number is over 1,000. The majority of infections in Beira, where Cyclone Idai first made landfall last month. Only one fatality has so far been reported, and a mass vaccination campaign is due to start tomorrow. Still ahead, we'll go to Joel at our weather centre for your live weather report. Good evening to you, Joel. And then Prince Harry and Meghan Markle finally on social media. Details on their account up soon. Let's get all your weather news down from Cape Town with Joel Guy. Good evening to you, Joel. Lots of thunderclouds around.
Good evening, Sally. Well, we have some pretty big and very active thunderstorms currently sweeping across the eastern provinces all the way from the northwest through Gauteng into Mpumalanga down into KwaZulu-Natal. Fortunately, these storms are going to fizzle out as we head towards Wednesday morning. So as we go into Wednesday, we're going to have cloud and rainy weather along the east coast, and it will be cloud as well for the eastern areas with drizzly and foggy conditions, especially over Mpumalanga and Limpopo. We could also see a few sprinkles of rain in parts of the Free State on Wednesday morning. Then in the afternoon, thunderstorms are forecast from the eastern areas of the Northern Cape into much of the northwest, extending down into the Free State and also pushing into parts of eastern South Africa. A warmer day is forecast once again for the western areas as well as over the Eastern Cape and much of KwaZulu-Natal. Then in the evening, it will stay pretty unsettled for much of the interior, and we are going to be watching a cold front heading towards the western parts of the country. Now let's take it closer to your part of South Africa. We start with the Northern Cape, where we are going to see isolated thunderstorms for the eastern areas, where it will be warm to hot with highs in the upper 20s and lower 30s. We are expecting a dry one for much of the Western Cape. It will be pretty warm for the interior, cooler for the coastal areas. Cape Town picking at around 27 degrees. The Eastern Cape should see isolated thunderstorms for the northern and northeastern areas. A bit of rain for East London, warming to around 26 degrees. KwaZulu-Natal is going to be much warmer compared to what we saw this Tuesday, with isolated rain and thunderstorms expected for the province. We are also going to see rain showers across Mpumalanga, where highs in the lower 20s are forecast in most places. Mostly dry for the Limpopo province, just a bit of rain in the morning for the eastern parts. Otherwise, it will be warm in the afternoon across much of the province. Warm as well for the northwest with isolated thunder showers, and those showers should also push down into much of the Free State. Mild for the eastern areas, but pretty warm for the western sections. Gauteng is also going to see isolated rain showers with highs in the lower to mid-20s. Now let's quickly look ahead to your Thursday. We are going to see thunderstorms extending from the northwestern areas down into southeastern South Africa. Cloudy, rainy and cooler weather will set in over the southwestern areas. Then on Friday, it's going to get cooler over eastern South Africa with pretty unsettled weather. Isolated showers are forecast for the southern parts. That's all from me for now, Sally. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Joel Guy. And finally, everybody's favourite royal couple is now officially on Instagram. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's joint account was launched this afternoon, just weeks ahead of the arrival of their first baby. The @Sussex Royal Instagram handle has already garnered more than 500,000 followers. Their first post, including a photo of their joint monogram, several pictures from their work, and a message from the couple.
Congratulations from all of us. How are you both?
To recap your top story this evening, the ANC Deputy Secretary General hits out at an ANC reporter for asking so-called attacking questions about controversial names on the candidate list. And that's your news. But before we go, of course, the April going to be a tough month. Fuel hikes kick in at midnight, so do fill up before then. And that's your news. Take care. Good night.